Most people don't fall into serious debt because of one single big purchase. It happens quietly, almost invisibly. It happens through a system that's become a totally normal part of our lives. A system that's actually designed to make you spend money you don't have, one tiny payment at a time. So let's break down how it all works. Just think about it for a second. You use one of those buy now, pay later options for a new pair of shoes. Then you do it again for some concert tickets. Each payment feels like nothing, right? It's just a few bucks. But then, all of a sudden, you look at your bank account and realize your next paycheck is already completely gone.
And look, if this feels familiar, you are so not alone. That feeling of being nickel and dimed into a corner, it's a national reality. A staggering 142 million Americans, that's nearly half the country, are paying off something through an installment plan right now.
And why wouldn't you use it? Seriously, it's offered everywhere, from buying a laptop to just ordering lunch. Buy now, pay later is sold to us as this smart, modern financial tool. But that convenience, it has a massive hidden cost, and it's creating a trap for millions. So let's get into the psychology of it. To really understand the trap, we have to look at the psychology behind it all. See, these services, they aren't just selling you convenience, they are specifically designed to change how your brain actually perceives money. So here's the core of the whole trick. It just doesn't feel like you're borrowing money. When you swipe a credit card, there's at least that little sting, right? That feeling of, a bill is coming. But these installment plans, they feel different. They feel like nothing. They're designed to completely remove what psychologists call the pain of spending. And this, right here, this is exactly how they mess with your head. Most of us would see a $1,200 price tag and immediately think, nope, can't afford that. But the second it gets reframed as just $50 a month, our brain completely switches gears. We stop asking ourselves if we can afford the laptop, and we start asking if we can afford the payment. There's actually a name for this little psychological trick. It's called price anchoring. The retailers anchor your entire decision to that small monthly number, making the total cost feel almost irrelevant. Your brain literally stops comparing the product to its real price and starts comparing that little payment to your monthly income. And the results are? Well, they're staggering. Get this. A Harvard study found that when people pay in installments, they underestimate their total spending by up to 40%. 40! That is not some small rounding error. That's the kind of miscalculation that's the difference between being financially stable and being completely broke. All right, so that's the mind game. But now we gotta talk about how this builds into something so much more dangerous, where one tiny payment quietly multiplies into 10. It all starts with just $35, but then you do it again and again. This is what's known as loan stacking. All of a sudden, you don't have one small payment, you've got 10 different micro debts spread across 5 different apps, all due at different times of the month. Each one feels totally manageable on its own, but together they become a financial avalanche. And this isn't some French case we're talking about. Over 60%, that's more than half, of people using these services are juggling multiple loans at the exact same time. The system is literally designed to make you lose track of it all. And this is where it gets really scary. This isn't just for big-ticket items like a new phone anymore. People are now using installment plans for basic necessities. Things like clothes, food, even groceries. Just pause and think about that. If you need a loan to buy food, that's not convenience. That's a huge sign of financial distress. And this whole problem is scaling at a terrifying speed. Back in 2019, the global buy now, pay later market was worth around $7 billion. It's projected to explode to over $90 billion by 2028. When an industry grows that fast, regulations just can't keep up, and most people don't see the risk until it's way too late. And that brings us to what might be the most uncomfortable truth of all. None of this is an accident. None of this is happening by chance. This right here, this is probably the most important takeaway from all of this. The system isn't broken, it's working exactly as it was designed to. It actually profits when you overspend and lose track. So you're not necessarily bad with money, you're just playing a game where the rules are set up to make you forget you're spending money at all. Just look at how it all works. It removes every single bit of friction. There's no big, scary upfront payment to stop you. The approval is instant. There's no clear feeling of the total cost. And this is a big one. Because so many of these microloans aren't visible on traditional credit reports, you don't even have a clear picture of how much you truly owe. So far, it all seems so friendly, so helpful. But this is where the mask comes off.
What happens when life gets in the way and you miss just one of those dozens of small payments? Well, late fees kick in immediately. Those promotional zero interest rates, they can skyrocket to 30% or even more. And the cruelest part of it all, to cover the payment you just missed, you might be tempted to take out, you guessed it, another installment loan. That's the debt spiral, and it is incredibly difficult to escape from. And don't think this is a rare thing. A recent report found that 1 in 3 people using these services has already missed at least one payment. The path from a convenient checkout to a devastating debt spiral is terrifyingly short. Okay, so that's the system. It sounds pretty bleak, I know. But understanding it is always the first step to beating it. So how do you protect yourself? How do you take back control? Here are 3 simple but incredibly powerful rules to protect yourself. First, the full price rule. Before you agree to any plan, ask yourself, could I afford the full price right now in cash? If the answer is no, you can't afford it, period. Second, list all your payments. Actually write down every single installment plan you have in one place. Seeing that real total will change your whole perspective. And third, the 48-hour delay. For anything that isn't an essential, wait 2 days before you buy it. That simple pause will eliminate almost all of your impulse purchases. And let's be clear about the real takeaway here. The point isn't that all debt is bad. I mean, a mortgage can be a great investment. The goal is to choose your debt consciously, not to just drift into it one convenient click at a time. So ultimately, that's the choice we're all facing at the checkout screen. A quick moment of instant gratification, a little bit of convenience, balanced against our long-term financial health. The question you really have to ask yourself is this: is that convenience truly worth your future? If this explainer made you think twice about that easy payment offer, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Every week, we break down the hidden systems that are quietly running your life, so you can run them instead. I'll see you in the next one.